Dual credit program, y'all, is going to be that program that is going to allow a high school student to earn both college credit and high school credit at the same time. It's all going towards their graduation requirements on the high school end as well, so it's helping. There definitely are some major benefits when it comes to participating in a dual credit program in high school. Some of those benefits are learning a college level learning management system. They get that firsthand exposure to college level work while they're still in the comforts of their own high school. All of our course instructors are also part of the St. Philip's program. They're adjuncts, they're instructor adjuncts. There's college expectations that they're living up to. Of course, earning that college credit, and then the big one, saving them time and money. So I'm going to move to that next slide. And then the dual credit courses that we offer at Alamo Heights are, of course, our English courses. So it would be our English 3, which would be that junior level course, which is comparable to the freshman composition class at the college level. And then our English 4, which is the senior level class, which would then be comparable to the sophomore level literature at the college on the college end. And then we also have 2 newer courses in our education strand. So we have our instructional practices course, and then we also have the practicum education and training course. Really great courses that we're offering just to give those students that a little bit of the variety that they can earn. Mr. Foss, would you like to take the rest of this piece on this slide? What they need to know about dual credit?
Yeah, sure. If I could just for a second also go back to the last slide, you don't have to change it, but one of the other benefits is enhancing our students' sense of time management, learning to handle, high school and college courses, the workload, as well as all the other wonderful things they do. I hear back from students who have graduated that going through the program has really enhanced their time management skills. So that was one thing I didn't want to jump in on right at you were speaking. Back to this slide. Yeah, so as you can see from the left-hand side box here, that for the English side anyway, students are eligible to earn 6 hours total, 3 hours per semester for English 3 dual credit, and then of course for English 4 dual credit. Let's see, there was something else that popped into my head and completely went out of it, but it'll come back. I'll come back to it. The grades that are part of the dual credit program become part of your students' college transcript as well. So we have that happening. The courses are all taught on our high school campus. We don't need to travel down to the college at all. Although as students enrolled in St. Philip's College, they would have access to the facilities down there, such as the library. We also have electronic access to the St. Philip's Library too, through the learning management system. But so there are those benefits. Students need to maintain a C or a better to continue enrollment. Maybe you could speak better to the withdrawal side. I'm in the classroom side, so you have better idea of the administration stuff than I do.
Absolutely. But, yeah. On dropping a DC course, it is possible to drop your dual credit course if you need to, but you just need to make sure that you've talked it through with your instructor, with your dual credit instructor, and then that you've also circled back to the dual credit coordinator, which would be me, so that way we could make sure that is the right choice and then fill out that drop slip together. So that way, not only are you going to be dropped from the high school end, but also making sure that you're dropped from the college side as well with that dual credit course.
One question that I get from students and parents when we have the back to school night, for instance, involves the transfer of college credits. And it's a really good question coming up for rising juniors when you all start making contact with colleges that your students are interested in. And that's to find out whether or not the colleges wanting to be applied for actually take the credit. Not all colleges do. It's a local decision at their end, but that's a really important question to keep in contact with as the application process begins for the new juniors. Attendance is important. I think we recognize that there's a correlation between being in class and doing well, but there is a requirement on the college end for attendance, and those St. Philip's policies have to be met. And you can see in the next bullet, missing 12.5% of class time could jeopardize college credit. At the high school, we have opportunities to make up time lost with those so-called green sheets. That doesn't really apply at the college level. So students, in addition to managing their workload and being attentive in all other ways, have to be attentive to their attendance. As a college course, we have fewer opportunities in dual credit English for grades. They've been brought along as freshmen and sophomores into sophomore years. There's usually many opportunities for grades, fewer at the DC English side. And then another policy to be aware of is the academic integrity policy of the college and of our district. So our students, our dual credit students, are under both policies. So just some things to be aware of as you're thinking of applying.
Awesome. And then as we move forward, we just have some information to share with you as far as like just the difference between the dual credit and our AP courses. Both great programs, both allowing our students to earn those college credit opportunities. And I would say the biggest difference between dual credit and AP is when going through the process of getting into a dual credit class, or qualifying, it's just making sure that they take that TSI exam if they're not PSAT exempt, if they're not exempt through their PSAT scores. So there's just that testing piece that gets done beforehand versus an AP course where the students will go ahead and take their AP exam at the end of the year in the month of May, to hopefully earn that 3, 4, or 5 as a score with the hopes of earning that college credit, depending on what school or university they're looking at. So I would say those are the biggest differences when it comes to the dual credit and AP, because both programs are going to fulfill those high school requirements towards graduation. As far as dual credit, we do have the partnership with St. Philip's. AP program won't have any affiliation to any university. The dual credit courses are going to become part of a student's college transcript. They will also be on the high school transcript as well. So those grades are both on those two transcripts. And again, going back to just transferring of credits, you just want to make sure when it comes to a dual credit course and credits that you're earning, the universities that the student is looking at, making sure that those universities are going to accept dual credits, the college credits from the community.
Go
ahead.
Another way to think about the differences between dual credit and AP is kind of like apples and oranges. As Ms. Biasana said, they're both great programs. The focus is slightly different. For the AP courses, as you're probably aware, the students are being trained to eventually take those tests at the junior level and the senior level. Short but intensive writing, a 40-minute essay, 3 of them on the exams, that short timed writing type of assessment. In dual credit, we kind of go the opposite way. We stretch out the writing process, maybe more amenable to the college type of writing system. In the first semester, we write 3 or 4 essays, and we take about a month on each essay, going through the entire process, brainstorming, understanding the prompt, brainstorming, selecting a topic, brainstorming some more, moving into the planning and organizing of the essay, and moving into the revision process, which is more than just changing, a few words here and there, and actual drastic changes potentially. So we approach the writing process a little bit differently than with AP. Not better, not worse, just differently. And that's probably one of the main differences. In the first semester in the English 1301, or the fall semester of English 3 dual credit, it's a non-fiction based material, and then writing essays of various kinds, as I said, 3 or 4 different types of essays. And then in the spring, in English 1302, or English in the spring semester of junior year, we switch to the more traditional analysis of literature. And we use the skills we practiced in the analysis skills we practiced in the first semester, but applying them to literary analysis. And then senior year is Britlit. It follows a chronological study of British literature from about 500 through till yesterday, or as far as we can get yesterday into the modern period.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to move forward. So here's the logistics piece when it comes to how do I apply? How do I apply for the dual credit program? We have the dual credit application packet linked to this presentation. We have it linked to our dual credit resource hub as well. So we try to have it posted on many different sites, so then that way it's applicable to the students and they can pick it up. But just know I will also be sharing with everyone that registered for tonight's session just a follow-up email that'll just have those direct links to it too if you want the shortcuts. But the steps to apply are students need to make sure that they complete their Applied Texas application. That deadline that was given to me by the college is February 24th. The application is open. I do have a step-by-step guide as far as filling out that application within the Alamo Heights application packet. So it'll walk you through the steps. Once the application is completed, then the students will then be setting up their own ACES account. So it's their own college portal connected to St. Philip's College. Once they have that ACES account set up, there are some modules that they would need to complete. There's two of them. It's the GoFar module and a test prep module, which is basically just giving them information as far as the expectations of a college student and what that looks like. And then also the test prep module is just giving them information about what the TSI exam is and what to get ready for. And then a side note, our students may be TSI exempt if they have the qualifying PSAT scores. In a minute, I'll show you what those scores are. So there's a couple of ways for them to get through that testing piece. We do have our testing date set for TSI for any of our students that will need to take the exam. It'll happen in the month of March. And again, the DC application packet will walk you through that. And then the last piece that we have that completes the whole process is just submitting the parent consent forms. There's a parent consent form that will be attached to that DC application packet that needs to be all turned in by April the 19th. So by that date, you just need to make sure that you've completed all of your steps. So then that way you've gone through the qualifying piece of getting into the dual credit program. And then moving forward, those qualifying test scores, as I mentioned earlier. So with the TSI exam, if a student does need to take it, they would be testing on English, math, and then there is a small essay component in there as well. And the scores that the student would need on the English section would be a 945 or higher. And then the math section reads a 950 or higher, but please note, to qualify for the English dual credit class, our students just need to pass that English language arts section of the TSI exam. Now moving forward, if they have the PSAT scores, so to get exempt for TSI, they need to have those PSAT scores and they have to meet both of those score requirements listed on this screen to qualify. So those score requirements are on the evidence-based reading and writing of PSAT, the student would need to have a 460 or higher. On the math section of the PSAT, that math score would need to be a 510 or higher. So if a student on their PSAT that they just took the last year, this year, if they have those two scores there, that would qualify them for dual credit and they would not have to TSI exam. Another measure that they use is the actual SAT. If we have any students that have taken the real SAT, then the scores that they would need would just be on the evidence-based reading and writing, and that score would be a 480 or higher from the actual SAT exam. On the ACT exam, if we have any students that did that test, then the score listed would be the English score of a composite score of a 19 or higher, the math a 19 or higher, giving a composite score of a 23 or higher. And again, just note that when it comes to qualifying for the English dual credit, the real SAT and the real ACT, then the college is just going to be looking at those reading writing sections of those two exams. If it's the PSAT that a student is trying to get qualified with, then it is both score requirements, the reading based, the based reading writing and the math score. And then we also have our STAR EOC scores that a student can use. On this one, they would have to meet all three requirements in order to qualify for dual credit. And I'm going to move on forward. This is just sharing with you guys the our contact information. So you've got my information up at the top. I am the dual credit coordinator for Alamo Heights campus. So if you have any general dual credit questions that you need assistance with, please feel free to reach out to my email. And then if you have specific questions in regards to our English dual credit class, we have Mr. Foss's email. And then again, for our new dual credit courses that are getting added in the educational pieces, if you've got some additional specific questions that you'd like to kind of get some more information on, you can contact our dual credit instructor for that. And that's Miss Jackie Moore, and her email is listed there for you. But any questions that we can help you out with, please feel free to reach out to us so we can provide you with that assistance. And then our last slide is just gonna thank you for your time, but this is where we can do Q&A. So I'm gonna go ahead and escape from this main screen here and open it up for Q&A session. So is there any questions there that we can go ahead and answer for you tonight?
Before we get, maybe I could just interject again.
Sure.
I remembered now what jumped out of my head earlier. Students interested in, and families and students interested in the dual credit program, at least for the English side of it, their student would need to be registered in English 3 dual credit in order to take English 4 dual credit their senior year. It's a ladder, a progressive thing. A student couldn't take English 3 dual credit in English 4 as a senior, I should say. So yeah, there was that clarification perhaps. And then again, related to the questions that our families may have right now, I'd be glad to speak to any of your students if they drop by my room 250 South at any time if they have questions that they want to. So they can stop by too.
All right. Checking the comments. I don't see any questions in our comment box. Feel free to open up your mic and let us know what questions you have, guys. I'm used to the awkward silence, so we can wait a little bit.
Your mic's not on, Mr. Else. Yeah, sorry.
Sorry. How about now?
Perfect.
Thank you. I just wanted to see if you could speak to like the deadlines so that students know that if they make this choice, it's not up to us, it's St. Philip's, and that it is a weighted class.
Absolutely. So yes, they will get the multiplier. So that 1.1 multiplier comes into play, but the deadlines are definitely important, y'all. And it's something that is guided to us by the college. So it's their dates that we're meeting. And so that very first one, that Applied Texas application, February 24th, that's the deadline that they would like to see the students submitting their applications. And then from there, March 30th is your next big deadline when it comes to setting up that student portal, the ACES account, and completing those GoFar modules. And then the testing dates, all of that's going to get done through that month of March. So we'll be in safe territory there. But then by April 19th, that's when we need to have your final confirmation on wanting to say yes, that you want to be in the program. You'll know if you qualified for it based off of the testing scores, but the dates are definitely given to us by the college, and we follow those dates to make sure we get everybody completed and qualified before we leave for summer break.
Will there be any assistance for students who haven't applied before?
We have, so if they have like general questions, they can stop by my office and ask. But the dual credit application packet, and let's see if I can share that with you. I think it's coming up on the screen here. Yes. So this packet will literally walk you through. It'll share the dates as well, and it starts walking you through the process. It's going to give you some program information in regards to the dual credit program. As you scroll further in, it's just going to give some highlights as far as what to note, but you'll start noticing here, step 1, go apply Texas. And I have everything hyperlinked in this dual credit application packet. So that way, as soon as you click on that link, it's going to open up the direct application website that you need to go to. And so that way, I'm trying to make it as an easy walkthrough process as possible. And it'll also go ahead and share with you just the different parts of the application itself that you're going to be completing, what responses you need to put for the certain questions on the pages that you're going to be going through. From there, you're going to then select the school, select the major. It'll be noted as a dual credit student, and it'll just walk you through all of those steps there for the application piece. But again, if a student is having some difficulties with the Apply Texas or a link or anything like that at all, they're always welcome to come to the counseling department so we can help them out with those pieces. So that way they can get the application completed. Great question. The packet itself will also provide our St. Philip's dual credit office phone number in case there's any questions. But most of the time I'm able to kind of be that middle person in there to help with accessing an ACES username or a banner ID, things like that. The college will share that information with me. And then the packet's also going to walk you through when you need to complete the GoFar and test prep modules. So then that way you'll know exactly where you can find that once you're in your account and what you need to do. Then we've also got the testing eligibility requirements as well, with a snapshot of those qualifying scores, the link to take you to the registration form, and then again, the last page, submitting that step 5 by April 19th, just to give us that final confirmation that yes, you're going to be doing this program and you've gone through all of those steps. But anytime a student needs help with those steps, they're more than welcome to reach out to me. Any other questions? I see Miss Moore. How you doing, Miss Moore?
I have a question.
Hey, Brooklyn, what's up?
It's Jennifer Herma.
I'm so sorry.
I think I missed the part where if they do AP English and dual credit, how is that
Different.
different?
What do you mean? So both classes will provide the 1.1 multiplier.
Okay.
And then the difference would be the application piece that a student needs to go through to get into the dual credit program in general so they can qualify. With AP, it would be the recommendation from their current teacher that they're with for English, and then getting that recommendation from the English teacher and then adding that to their course selection for next year.
And then as far as the two courses themselves go, I'm not sure if you were there when I mentioned before that the courses are like apples and oranges. They have slightly different focuses. The AP courses are designed to get the students trained on, timed writing analysis or analysis of literature through timed writing, specifically to help students do well on the 3 essays that are part of the AP exams in junior and senior year. Whereas dual credit, we take a longer approach to writing. We start the year off learning about the writing process, which is different than students might have practiced or thought about over their years. And then we practice on 3 or 4 different kinds of essays, taking about a month for each essay, going through the entire process. And it's a nonfiction approach in the first the first semester. And then we shift to literary analysis and the second semester, employing the skills we learned, the writing skills we learned, and now writing and analysis skills we learned in the first semester.
I'm sorry, this is to Brooklyn's dad. I just wanted to clarify. So if they do the AP course and they do well on the test, and they also do this dual program, that additional college credit they earned, that was kind of our question. Or is it kind of redundant if they do both, like do well on the test and take the dual credit?
They would have to make the decision of doing one or the other.
Thank you. That answers it. Thank you.
Okay.
I have a question. This is Cecilia Corso. I just want to make sure that Mr. Foss is the only dual credit teacher.
So he is our only dual credit English instructor. And then we have Miss Moore, who is our dual credit educational instructor.
Okay, perfect. I have a senior son who's had 2 years with Mr. Foss, and it has truly been a life-changing experience for him. He said he has learned more than he's learned in any of his classes, and because of Mr. Foss, he'll be ready for college. So anybody wondering about this program, I cannot recommend it enough.
Thank you, Ms. Corso. Spread the wealth for us, please.
I absolutely will.
Well, thank you, and I hope all of you parents know that learning is a two-way street. I learn from the students as well as do our colleagues. It's a two-way street. So thanks for that. Yeah.
Miss Moore, you're on mute. Wait, unclick. Mr. Foss, can you hear Miss Moore? Nope.
No, I'm sorry, Ms. Moore, we're not able to hear you.
Do you want to put it in the chat box and I can say it if you can? All right, families, any other questions? Okay, I checked our chat box. I don't see anything in there. You're welcome, Mr. Cheney. All right. Well, then I'm going to go ahead and sign off. But I do thank you all for joining us for tonight's meeting. Truly do hope the information was helpful. Again, you'll get a follow-up email from me to give you the direct links to all of these little pieces for the application process. And then again, follow-up questions, you guys let me know. Thank you so much.